So where we left off, we built this nice U-shaped extension. We were hoping that this nice set of one-ways along the outside, or what would be the center of this expansion, would keep traffic down. What ended up happening though is we decided to connect up the two houses of the city with this nice little bridge here. And if we go look at the traffic, well, that ended up being a very popular route, and that's and the traffic's pretty bad. I mean, it moves, but people sit on this bridge for a long time. We tried enacting a traffic ban, specifically the heavy traffic ban, which I believe bans trucks, so I guess that forces all large trucks to go and use the highways and off-ramps along the other side. Hey TCG Masters, I got a preview copy from Paradox. Alright, so I think what we're going to do here, we've got the stadium and the science center set up. They're both supposed to be really good for tourists, but we're going to try to hook these guys up to the rest of the city using some public transit. So I think we're going to drop a subway line somewhere along our really busy corridors. We already have some subways. So we've got subways within the old city, but now I want to hook that up with the new city, so I'm thinking a stop right by the stadium and the science center, probably dropping back here since we do have a lot of traffic that's trying to get down here. So at least 2 stops here. We may as well make it 3. We do have high density in both of these areas, so maybe stop, back to the main city. Hey Hendrix, welcome to the stream. And maybe over here, because, well, let's take a look at the traffic again. Yeah, there's definitely a need to swing by to this district. I don't think I ever got a subway over there on my first pass. So that's what we're gonna do. Drop a second set of subways and then a second set of bus routes. Alright, where do I want to drop this metro station where it won't be too disruptive? It's not really a big deal to bulldoze residences or businesses, but I don't like to do it. Purely from the roleplay aspect. Now, let's see. Is there a space to fit something in here? No. We could drop something over there. There is some free space there. I guess that wouldn't be bad. Or over here, is there space? No, that all requires bulldozing. Alright, so let's assume that we are going to do some bulldozing. Where would be the best spot to drop this? There's no really high traffic. There's a bit of traffic at this intersection, but that's just because of the stoplight. So we'll just go with a subway where we have the highest density, which seems to be right here. Hey Chris Mack, welcome to the stream. I guess we could bulldoze one of these lower density houses. Fine, let's do that. Put the subway in right here. Make a couple people happy there, that's right. And then the subway station by the stadium and the science center, so let's see. Like that's fine. And then over by this high density area, do we have a unoccupied set of squares? No, we'll have to bulldoze something. I really would loathe to bulldoze these high density towers though. Let's see, if we wanted to go around the edge of the map, we could go over here. That might not be bad. Were we pro? I don't know what the quality of the Twitch streaming is like on your end, sorry. But we do need to pick a nice spot for our metro station. Maybe we're overthinking it. That looks like a fairly small building. We could definitely plow that down without feeling too bad. Alright, fine. We'll drop the metro station right here then. And what about the orientation of the station? Is that going to matter? For now, we're not going to worry about that. So, 3 metro stations in the new section of the city. Acre Pizza, welcome back. And do we want to do some future planning and drop a metro station somewhere up here? Yeah, we're definitely going to be expanding more in this direction, so we may as well drop another station here. Let's see. That seems good. Or we could pack the stations a little closer together. Now we'll drop the station up here. It's going to be empty for a little while. I'll definitely go and build out some more residential and commercial. So we'll get some use out of that. And, well, right now that station's going to be without power, so let's go and zone this area right now. There is more demand for offices, so we'll get that going. Let's see, since this is my busy lane, I don't want to add any more intersections to that. We'll run the streets down the center. Yeah, that'll be fine. And we'll run out like this, but we'll leave it unconnected here. Alright, so this long row will all be offices. If only because there's high demand for industrial right now. Hey Bobek, welcome to the stream. And yes, I do remember your Twitch name there, Kerpitza, and I'm happy to see you back. And those of you with less distinctive usernames, my apologies if I don't remember your return, but I do appreciate your return viewership. Alright, so we've dropped 4 subway stations in the new city, and we do want to service this area since it did look like we had a lot of traffic trying to get here. Where exactly do we want to drop this? And again, we have my own particular quirk of not liking to bulldoze buildings, especially high-density buildings, unless I have to. It looks like we do have some free space right here. That's actually perfect. Let's drop that there. The Nightmare, I recognize your username. Jason Poland, welcome. Thanks for the wave. And let's see, where else do we want subways? Let's go look at the traffic again. So we've got this super busy corridor, which we're hoping that the 4 stations down here will address. And then we've got this, we've got a station there, hopefully to address that. Maybe a station here. Okay, so stations all along this line here. Let's see how that lines up with our pre-existing stations. We could start increasing the density of our stations, so maybe one here, and one here. And then we'll put in another set of tunnels, and then a couple more lines. So let's see, is there a nice spot? Again, without excessive bulldozing, where we could put in a station? No. Well, this place is relatively unoccupied. It's also really close to the other stations though, so it seems like a bit of a waste. Well, let's double check the traffic in this area. I guess we could do with another station. Or maybe over here. These buildings look fairly low density. Or is that a medical clinic? That's a medical clinic. Alright, well, we can plow down one of these, the company. That's pretty ambiguous. And it's right by a bus station too. So yeah, we'll drop a subway station right here. Ooh, but it does require bulldozing 2 of them, not just 1 of them. Alright, maybe I won't go for that. Let's swing over here. Ah, we could fit it in, a stop in right by the crematorium. That'll be fine. Jabberwocky Man wants to know how large the download for this game was. I don't recall offhand. Alright, so definitely some more subway stations sprinkled throughout. Do we want something in the middle here? Let's look at traffic again. And so we've got a lot of traffic here, but it's just people trying to get from one place to another. Nothing to do with people really wanting to access these buildings. Hey Lukila, welcome back. So, I suppose we could put a subway station in here. It only requires that we bulldoze one residence, so I'm probably fine with that. And we'll drop a subway station in here somewhere. Let's see. Maybe not right by the dump. Perhaps by the train cargo station? Does that make any sense? Probably not. And our industrial sector, well, so for a while, a lot of our industrial sector was abandoned, but it looks fine right now. And we can definitely do a top-down overview of our cities as soon as I drop this last metro station. Let's see. I feel like the industrial sector does deserve a metro station, even we have been ignoring it quite a bit. So maybe a metro station in here. There seems to be a bit of a bottleneck, but again, that's probably due to bad intersections rather than high demand. Alright, let's put a metro station in right here. Looks like we have space there. Okay, fine. Wait, is that right beside another metro station? Yes, yes it is. Oh, we got a refund for that, so not bad. I guess if we really wanted a metro station, it would be somewhere here, but we'll forget. Well, we won't worry about that. Let's go look at traffic again. I still want to drop one more metro station, so somewhere along this corridor. Let's see if this 6-lane roadway does have good coverage by metro. So 2 stops here. If we want another along this line, we'll need a stop here and a stop here. So let's go and zoom in. Yeah, we could drop a metro station right here. And something over here. Let's see. Are there any unoccupied tiles? Up here there is, but that's kind of close to that other station. I'd like to place this right in the middle if possible. And of course it is possible, I'm just being unnecessarily particular about not wanting to bulldoze businesses and residences. Alright, so maybe right here, this looks kind of empty. It's empty because that's someone's lovely park. Alright, so we'll bulldoze this one business here, right beside the park. Is this a modded SimCity? This is not part of the SimCity franchise, but it is a city builder that is very much in the spirit of the SimCity franchise. I don't think that any of the game assets are borrowed from SimCity, so it's not like it's using the same engine or anything like that. So I don't think anyone would say it's a modded SimCity. But it is a moddable city builder, which I don't know how easily the various versions of SimCity proper were. Alright, so we've dropped all the metro stations we want. I'll probably want to drop, but I want another one down here. Yeah, let's do that while we're on this whole building frenzy. Maybe a little more to the south, right here perhaps. Alright, let's do that. And put in the tunnels. Alright, so is there a sensible way for me to connect this? We could do a circle line for the new city, a line connecting right down the middle here, and then we'll also want to pick up these new stations to the left. Alright, well, we'll start from the top. Let's see. And we can also make the old city into a circle line as well. What would make sense? I don't have a good sense of what the traffic patterns inside my city are, or if that information is even readily available. Like, do people live here and work somewhere else in particular? Well, let's just build out the central line. There's one. And then from here, go down to this new station. And let's see. So, train tunnels can join, but they can't go through each other. So they can join up at stations, or they can connect. But I don't, since you can't adjust the depth of the tunnels, that would probably result in either congestion or a subway collision. All right, let's hook this up over here then. I think that'll be fine. Okay, well, we can send one over this way. Building additional subway lines is difficult for me because I'm messing up my old subway lines. Let's drop this here. And we'll spin around this way. Alright, and we've missed out on some of the chat. Looks like there are a lot of comments about the questions on SimCity. And people are liking our little transportation network, despite all of my debate onto where I should place these tunnels and where I should place the stations. Alright, now, at one point in time, we were thinking that a lot of people wanted to get from this station directly to the station down here. So if we wanted, we could hook the tunnels up right away, which probably means we should drop a subway station here. The thing is, this is my really low residential area, so I don't think the people living in single-family homes, well, these are like low-rise apartments. I don't think that they need their own subway station. But I suppose if we want good coverage, we could get that going. Alright, let's drop another metro station in while we're here. We do have the money to maybe splurge out on some unnecessary subways, and there's already a spot there waiting for us, so build that out. And now for continuing this track, I have a feeling our subways are going to get pretty congested because it's going to be hard. Well, maybe we should plan that out now. We can split this into multiple lines. The thing is, from as far as I can tell, you can't build single interchange stations. The tunnel has room for trains going in two directions, so you could potentially have two lines running through the same station and not have any traffic jams. But if you want three lines running through the same station, then you're definitely going to have some traffic issues in the tunnels, which might be okay. But my desire to have a beautiful transit system makes that not sit quite as well with me. And we can make these things curve around a little more aesthetically. Let's do that, so it's not quite as sharp a turn. Okay, so that seems reasonable so far, and I guess this is going to be a huge interchange hub then, even though subway stations aren't meant to do that, at least not in this game. At least that doesn't seem to be what the game wants you to do. We'll send the tunnel around this way and then over. Or we can just start down here. Okay, let's start up with a whole new tunnel system in our new city section. And we'll try to make this nicer. Let's say, point that out like that. And point this over. Well, maybe that's a little too far. Okay, so straight, a curve, and then straight and curve over. Alright, that's a nice little S-bend. And we'll go over this way. and hook up like that. But then, alright, and we'll connect to the stadium and science center like this. Alright, do we want to make this a circle and then just have this guy connect up to the north end? Yeah, we could have a small circuit here. I don't know how much demand there is for that within the center of the city, but we can certainly give that a go. I'm not really liking the way this looks. But it is sort of what we're stuck with now. Alright, so if we just lay this out as if it were rail tracks, then we can extend this out right now. Space already occupied. Okay, so there is a conflict here. Alright, that looks kind of bad, but that's okay. And this station is kind of off in the middle of nowhere. Hey Varric, welcome to the stream. And how do I want to connect this station to the rest of the grid? Alright, so much for our nice little loops. We'll hook up like that. And then maybe bring this guy over like this. And we'll have this guy. We don't want to cross over like that, so we can bulldoze this line and then make this a circle line like this with a line that cuts through. Yeah, I like that. But then what are we going to do with this station? Well, this will be an experiment. Let's bulldoze. Can we bulldoze this tunnel without causing extreme mayhem? I think we're going to, though. So we can make, I think we can make T-junctions, but it sounds really bad for subway traffic. Okay, so this guy can hook up to, wait, we wanted a circle, so this guy's going to hook up to here. So we've got our circle line like this, and we also want one running through here. So, hook this guy up to here. That just looks weird. All right, let's just build out some more tunnels and then we'll make our lines again. And that'll really be the test of whether or not this subway system makes any sense at all. Out of city limits, I see. Alright, and I don't like the look of this tunnel. I'll go and bulldoze that. Okay, what sort of shape of a tunnel would make sense for this? I guess this guy could lead down to the downtown as well. Ooh, there's a sick person. What's that all about? We still have plenty of healthcare availability. And what's our water looking like? Check the pollution levels. Garbage. Pollution. Which of you is the pollution icon? Noise pollution. Demographics, zones. Okay, so this is the pollution icon. We don't have any pollution near our pumping station, so it's not water. Alright, back to building up the subways then. Okay, so we can have this as an alternate connection down to the new city's loop. Alright, so that looks interesting. Now, the real test is to see if the lines will make any sense. Let's erase all of the old lines, since these guys weren't even part of a loop. If I click on the stop, add a stop. Okay, how do I remove the line? I can drag the line. Do we have to delete each station one at a time? We might have to do that. Let's see if I can click directly on the subway. Modify line, delete line. Alright, so people definitely miss their subways. Alright, so we'll start with the new city, since that's the simplest. We're gonna have one looping line here. And complete the line. Alright, good. Now we want a looping line here, I suppose. It's probably a bad idea to have the subway lines cross over each other, but that's just a theory. We could have one loop here, and then a straight line through here, and just see if the subways collide or get into any sort of traffic jams. Alright, so let's not assume the worst, and go with this right now. And actually, if I want to have both these lines run in parallel, I should probably, let's see, drag the stop. Can I put this on the other side of the track? So there's a left hand and a right hand side. Let's make a new line here. And see if those lines cross over. They do cross over. So that's not what I want. Let's redo this whole thing. And then I need to resume the simulation to get a train so I can cancel the line. And that means my citizens are going to be really mad that all their old silver lines have disappeared. Alright, so let's have a train appear somewhere. Alright, there's a train. Pause the game. Zoom in on the train. Modify line, delete line. And then we'll put the train in on the inner track. Hey, Echelon T. No performance issues yet, but we're only at 42,000 population. I think you can get up way higher. So, looks like... Okay, so if we want to do this the right way, let's see. Cancel that. We'll start by drawing out this track. And that means going down to here. Alright, so that's taking the inner track. Is that what I want? Yes, yes it is. And we'll go out to here, here, and then looping back. Okay, so that's the middle loop. Now we'll get something going here. Let's see. Add a stop, create a new line, and this time if we want to share the track, we need to go in the opposite direction. Yeah, that's working. Alright, perfect. So this station, the two trains can run without getting in each other's way, and it'll act to connect these two loops. And it would be nice if this was an interchange station as well. But that's just not how I drew the track. So we only have the one interchange station, and this guy loops around excessively far. makes me really want to put a station in right here instead, or in addition to. I mean, this is some pretty high density stuff. Alright, let's do that. I'll put a station in right here, and then redraw the tunnels. We'll have to redraw all the routes too. People in chat are gonna hate me. Alright, let's drop that. And bring out the bulldozer. Alright, so we've got the curve tool on. Pull over to the side like this. Straight and connect. Maybe that's a little too far. Alright, so maybe just halfway. And connect up. Alright, that seems fair. Hey, Fruit Strike, welcome back. And you can connect up like that. Alright, that looks good. Now, what does that do to the roots? Okay, so the roots, do they fix themselves here? I click on that, drag to add a stop. Add stop. Perfect. Okay, so that wasn't as onerous as I was thinking it would be. And this guy, drag to add a stop. Ah, perfect. So now there are two interchange lines between the two circle lines. Good. Alright, so now let's see if we can do something nice like that up here. So this will be an interchange station, and that might be it. Meanwhile, these guys, we do have space. Well, let's see if lines can overlap. Okay, so if we want to start another line with potential overlaps, create a new line, and we'll bring that over to here, add stop, and this will just be the straight up north-south line. Let's see, right over to here, to here, and then right to the north end of the city. Alright, so it lets us do that. But that line's not complete. It'd have to curve all the way back around if we wanted that to be a complete line. I don't really like that too much. Alright, let's cancel that whole line. I do want a train that'll take our citizens from the north end of the city to the south end, but for the moment, we'll let that be. Alright, so now for our largest circle line, we could have this be two more circles, but then it sort of defeats the purpose of the line, which was to deliver people from the residential area to the industrial area. Alright, we'll just make a giant circle here, and then maybe a smaller inner circle. So here's the stop. We're going to go and make a new line. New line. Swing over this way. Around this way. And line complete. Alright, and we can color these lines a little differently once the trains are actually running. Now we have 3 stops in the center of the circle that need to be connected up in a sensible way. Let's see. We can have a mini loop that ignores the industrial area, since our industrial area isn't as relevant to the city now that we're so well educated. Alright, let's do the mini loop then. So we'll run in the same direction as this loop so that, no, we can run counterclockwise. And then, for the most part, the trains won't have to get in each other's way. Oh, but they do ignore the station. That's kind of annoying. Okay, well, let's ignore that for now. This tunnel has 3 lines running through it, and we'll find out if that's a disaster. No, we'll just go through the inner loop here. Alright, there, complete line. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. Once we have trains on them, I'll color them differently. And since we have a whole bunch of lines, we're doing the whole experiment to see if trains will either crash into each other or collide. So, wait, we have 2.7 million? I don't understand. Let's see, can we bring up the main city thing? Leisure. How do I check my population? Oh, it's the money. Yeah, I have $2.7 million, not 2.7 million citizens. But yeah, so train lines, let's set up the north-south and we'll do the experiment to see if we can get subway traffic jams. I obviously don't want subway traffic jams, but we can see if that's even a concern. So we'll run a new line right from the south end of the city all the way to the north end. And we'll run it in the opposite direction actually, because I want to use both sides of the tunnel here. Oh, actually, no, this is fine, because if it's going to be north-south, then it's going to have to curve back on itself. So there, unless the trains work in a really weird way, there's definitely going to be some traffic jams here. So add a stop, and then you'll loop right back south, purely connecting the old city and the new city. Alright, does that complete the line? I don't know. It looks like there's a line there. It's doubled up all the way to this stop. The overlapping lines do make this much more difficult. See which line I'm going to extend here. Alright, well, once we have the trains running, we can add the colors and it'll be less ambiguous. Alright, so Varric 3 says it won't crash, but... Okay, and we're getting huge upgrades here in the new part of town. They have their own subway, so that's good. But, let's follow some trains around and color the lines and see if there are going to be any traffic jams. So the trains do slow down here, but is it because of the turn or because they don't want to hit other trains? There's definitely a traffic jam. That's not good for subways. Alright, so I don't like that at all, but before we pass full judgment, let's color these lines a little differently. Let's start by coloring one of the southern lines. Let's see, is there a train running here? Okay, what color you? Not stations, not tunnels, not lines. Look at transit. Look at buses. What's the best way to do this? Alright, so we'll click on the train. Modify line. The line to the south will be bluish in color. Alright, so this is our southern blue circle line. And then this circle line, the Midtown circle line, we can make that, I don't know, maybe yellow. Alright, so there's the yellow line. Our north-south line can be red. Let's click on that and see what this ends up looking like. Well, maximum red. Alright, so does that run north-south like we wanted it to? Yes, it does. And what's this? Abandoned building. Sure, we can bulldoze that. That's fine. Alright, but back to the trains. And hopefully with the bulldozer off. Alright, so we've got the red line, then we've got the Old City circle line, which we'll go and color orange. and then the Old City Inner Circle line, which can, well, we'll change them all away from green just so that we can make sure we haven't missed anything. We'll make this guy teal, purple. Alright, so none of the original green is left. So all the lines are where we want them to be, but it does look like we run into major train traffic problems. This would be the biggest problem intersection, so let's just keep an eye on these two, the T intersection and the Y intersection. Hey Stitchy, welcome back. Alright, where are the trains? I want to see some... Okay, so there. They do slow down going around the corner. They stop at the station, which is fine. Maybe it's that the corner is too sharp. The orange guy gets by just fine because he doesn't have conflict with anyone. The red guy doesn't seem to be too delayed either. So the page up and the page down didn't let us change the subway levels, but maybe there's some other trick to it. The Crete, that's definitely what we'll do when we finish this playthrough. When I go through for a second playthrough, I'll definitely play with some sort of mods that'll add some sort of challenge. The hard mode mod is the most logical for that. Alright, so we've got metro usage online, and it's actually surpassing our bus usage now. So that's pretty nice. We also have a few tourists running that per week. Excellent. Alright, so our subways are running. I'm not exactly happy about the track layout here. That the yellow trains stop before they make this turn is a little distressing for me. But it also, I mean, they stop and then they drive slowly into the station, which is real life subway behavior, so I think that's okay. Yeah, that's fine, alright. So I'm happy with this subway system. We have coverage of most of the city, and now let's lay out some buses, and then we'll do that flyover that was requested by, I don't remember who now, but we'll definitely do the flyover of the city and recount the history of this fine town. And then we'll zone out some more stuff so that we can keep growing. I do want to unlock some more buildings and get into some of the monuments and the fancy unique buildings. Alright, so do we need buses here? The subway density in this part of town is probably good enough that we can get away without the buses. So, time for the flyover. Alright, so this area right here